I was shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. My 9-year-old son was curled up on the couch, clutching his stomach, his face pale in a way I had never seen before. He kept whispering, "Mom, it hurts," like he was trying not to scare me. But I was already terrified. My car was in the shop, engine blown, no warning, no backup. I dialed my parents. My mom answered on the third ring, annoyed. "What is it?" "Mom, I need the car, please. He's in pain. I think something's really wrong. I need to get him to the hospital now." There was a pause, then a sigh. "Not my problem. Figure it out. Your sister has an important meeting. She needs the car." I blinked, thinking I misheard. "Mom, he's 9. And your sister's career matters. Don't start this again." In the background, I heard my sister's voice, calm, unaffected. "Tell her I can't be late." Something inside me went completely still. I looked at my son, curled tighter now, trying not to cry. "Okay," I said quietly. I hung up. No yelling, no begging, nothing. I grabbed my phone again, but not to call them back, because in that moment, I realized something I should have seen years ago. And this time, I wasn't going to forget it. I had seen this before. Not the hospital part, not the panic, but the way they chose her. Every single time. Growing up, it was always small things first. Her school trips mattered more. Her birthdays were bigger. Her mistakes were understandable. Mine were disrespectful. I learned early to stay quiet, to not expect too much. But this was different. I wrapped a blanket around my son and rushed outside, my hands trembling as I tried to book a ride. No drivers, no availability. Just a spinning screen and rising fear. "Mom?" His voice cracked behind me. I didn't wait anymore. I ran to the neighbor's house and knocked like I was trying to break the door. Mr. Khan opened it, startled. One look at my son and he didn't ask questions. "Get in." The drive felt endless. Every red light felt personal. I kept watching my son in the back seat, his eyes half closed now, his breathing uneven. "Stay with me, baby. Just a little more," I kept whispering. When we finally reached the hospital, they rushed him inside immediately. Hours blurred together. Tests, nurses, waiting. A doctor finally came out, his expression serious. "You brought him just in time," he said. My chest tightened. If you had waited longer, this could have been much worse. I nodded slowly, but inside, something shifted. Because while I was sitting there, shaking, replaying everything, I knew this wasn't just neglect anymore. This was something else entirely. The next morning, my phone started ringing. I didn't pick up. Once, twice, 10 times. By the time it hit 38 missed calls, I just stared at the screen and let it go silent again. My son was sleeping beside me, finally stable, machines softly beeping around him. I should have felt relief. Instead, I felt clear, not angry, not loud, just clear. I opened my messages. "Mom, call me back immediately. Dad, you're being dramatic again. My sister, you better not make this about you." I almost laughed. About me? I looked over at my son, his small hand resting on the hospital blanket, IV taped to his arm. This was never about me, and that's when it hit me. It never had been. I didn't reply, not to any of them. Instead, I started thinking, really thinking. I replayed everything. The call, their tone, the way they didn't even hesitate. No concern, no second thought, just a decision, like we didn't matter, like he didn't matter. My phone buzzed again. This time, I picked it up, but not to answer. I opened a note, then another. Names, dates, moments. Every time they chose her. Every time I stayed quiet. I wasn't reacting anymore. I was collecting, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't trying to be understood. I was preparing to be done. I didn't go home right away. When my son was finally discharged, I took him to a quiet place instead, a small rental I booked for a few days. I needed space, not just from them, but from everything I thought I knew. That night, while he slept, I opened my laptop. I don't know what pushed me to check. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was years of silence finally breaking. I logged into the old family account my dad once added me to. "For emergencies," he had said. What I found didn't feel like an emergency. It felt like a plan. Property transfers. Signed weeks ago. The house, the summer place, Even the savings account my mother always called family security. All of it. Moved. All of it. Under my sister's name. I stared at the screen, reading it again and again, like maybe the words would change if I blinked enough. But they didn't. There were notes too. Short. Cold. Better to secure everything early. She'll understand eventually. My chest tightened, but no tears came, because suddenly, everything made sense. The dismissal, the tone, the way they didn't even pretend to care when my son needed help. They already made their choice. Long before that phone call, long before that night, I closed the laptop slowly and leaned back in the chair, staring into the dark. I wasn't shocked anymore. I wasn't hurt the way I used to be. This time, I was certain this wasn't neglect. This was betrayal, planned, signed, and sealed. And now Karsham. It was my turn to respond. I didn't confront them. Not that day. Not the next. I let them keep calling. 38 turned into 50, then 60. Voicemails stacked up, my mother sounding irritated, then worried, then, suddenly, soft. My father tried authority first, then concern. My sister. She never apologized. Not once. Good. I needed them exactly like this. Comfortable in their version of the story. I sat at the small kitchen table, laptop open, papers spread out like pieces of a puzzle. Every document I found, I saved. Every transfer, every signature, every date. I wasn't guessing anymore. I was building something, a case. I reached out quietly. Legal consultations, financial records, background checks. I didn't use my usual accounts. I didn't leave a trail they could follow. They thought I was emotional, broken, still waiting for their approval. That illusion was the most useful thing they had ever given me. At night, I'd watch my son sleep, his breathing finally steady again. That was all the confirmation I needed. This wasn't about proving a point. This was about making sure no one could ever put him in that position again. My phone buzzed again. Mom, we need to talk. Now. I stared at the message, then locked my phone without replying, because the truth was, we were going to talk, just not the way they expected. And when that conversation happened, they weren't going to be the ones in control anymore. I chose the timing carefully, not too soon, not too late, just enough to let them settle into their confidence, to believe the silence meant surrender. When I finally replied, it was simple. We can talk. Come over tomorrow. No anger, no questions. Exactly what they expected. They arrived right on time. My mother walked in first, already rehearsing concern. My father followed, stiff and controlled. My sister came last, phone in hand, barely looking up. I kept my voice calm. Sit. They did. For a moment, no one spoke. Then my mother reached for my hand. We were worried. You overreacted. I slid a folder across the table. She stopped. My father frowned. What is this? Just look, I said. Pages turned. Slowly at first, then faster. I watched their faces shift, confusion, recognition, then something sharper. My sister finally looked up. Where did you get this? I didn't answer. Instead, I tapped my phone once. A soft click echoed in the room. My father's eyes snapped toward it. What was that? Nothing, I said calmly. Just making sure we don't forget anything from this conversation. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. They had walked in thinking this was about emotions. About me being too sensitive. But now, they were sitting in front of proof, and without realizing it, they had already started saying exactly what I needed them to say. My father cleared his throat, trying to take control. This doesn't mean what you think it does. I didn't interrupt. I just watched. My mother flipped through the papers again, her hands unsteady now. We were protecting the family. You've always been unpredictable. Unpredictable. I almost smiled. My sister leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms. Let's not pretend. You were never going to handle responsibility like I do. There it was. Clean. Clear. On record. I tapped my phone again, not breaking eye contact. Say that again. She hesitated. Too late. My father slammed his hand on the table. Enough of this. You're blowing things out of proportion. We did what was best. For who? I asked quietly. Silence. No one answered. I slid one final document across the table. This one. They hadn't seen before. My father picked it up first. His face drained almost instantly. What is this? A formal notice, I said. Everything you transferred, every decision you made without my consent, has been legally challenged. My mother's voice shook. You would and... I already did. My sister stood up abruptly. You're going to destroy this family over money? I looked at her steady. No, I said softly. You did that. I'm just finishing what you started. For the first time, they had nothing left to say. No excuses, no control, just consequences. And the silence that followed? That was their collapse. The calls didn't stop after that day. They just changed. No more authority. No more cold dismissal. Now, it was pleading. My mother left long voicemails, her voice softer than I had ever heard it. My father tried to sound reasonable, talking about family unity like it was something they hadn't already broken. Even my sister called, once. I didn't answer, not because I was angry, but because I was done. The legal process moved forward quietly, slowly, exactly the way it needed to. Some things were reversed, some things weren't. It didn't matter as much as I thought it would, because the real shift had already happened. I wasn't waiting for their approval anymore. I wasn't explaining myself. I wasn't asking for anything. One evening, I was sitting on the couch, watching my son laugh at something on TV. His face was relaxed, safe. That same kid who had whispered through pain just days before, now looked like himself again. That's when it finally settled in. This was the only thing that mattered. Not the house, not the money. Him. My phone buzzed again on the table beside me. I glanced at the screen, then turned it face down. Some people only realize your value when you stop needing them, and by then, it's already too late. I didn't lose a family. I walked away from one that was never mine.